Welcome back to my YouTube channel, my live stream. Gonna do WWE Smackdown. It was on last night. I didn't do it last night as someone to be. I was at House of Glory with Salamander and JD from New York. So I didn't have time to do Smackdown on Friday, but we're gonna do it tonight on Saturday. Might as well get it done and over with. This will be an hour and 20-minute live stream. We're gonna talk about Smackdown. We'll talk about the news and rumors in WWE. My video is sponsored by PlayStation, is sponsored by my favorite YouTubers like Chris Move and the Rad Brad. My favorite podcasters like Salamander Sound Off, Fightful, Pro Wrestling, Good My Work Commentary, and JD from New York. What the hell? Want to make sure that my live stream is on so y'all can hear me and y'all can see this. Alright, it's on. It said that Smackdown is on right now. I think there were like 4 matches on Smackdown. There were a couple of segments. There was a very boring show. Smackdown sucked. It's the worst show of all time. But anyway, make sure you guys enjoy the video. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below. Y'all want to see more? I will do a Monday Night Raw live stream this Monday in the afternoon. Man, just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support and all the love on here. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Now, the show opened up with Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the WWE Championship with Sami Zayn as the special referee. That opened the show. It probably should main evented because that's the only good storyline on this show. Now, this show wasn't that bad as the previous show that it's been, but the only thing that was good was the opener. I know some people didn't like the ending and felt kind of confused, but it made sense and it fit the storyline. The match with Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the WWE Championship as Sami Zayn with the referee, the match was alright. It was about the storyline. Now, we all knew this match would end in some screwy finish that would justify another match or a triple threat match that we all knew was going to happen. They already advertised it right after the match ended. Now the match went about 20 minutes until Sami Zayn got involved with Gunther. He smacked him. He also hit a fast count on Gunther, and that's how Cody Rhodes won. And then they argued backstage, Cody, Gunther, and Nick Aldis and Sami. Then they restarted the match. We got the match again. It went about a couple of minutes. Like a minute later, Sami Zayn came out, caused a DQ. He attacked Gunther. He attacked the referee. He attacked Cody Rhodes. Then we had Nick Aldis again backstage with Gunther and then Sami and then Cody. And it all led to a triple threat match at Night Champion for the main event. Cody Rhodes will defend against Sami Zayn and Gunther. We all knew that was going to happen. So they did advertise like 6 other matches on the show. We got the triple threat match. We got Jay Carter and Tiffany Stratton. We got Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in a steel cage match. And then we got Trick Williams and Ricky Saint for the U.S. Championship. We got Jade and Tiffany, and then we got the King and Queen of the Ring, Oprah Femi and Jey Uso, and Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Now, the other thing that happened on the show, now, the main event was Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Liv Morgan at the Women's World Championship, the irrelevant champion, hadn't done anything with it. Hadn't even defended the title. People are confused. Why is he in the tournament? What's he doing in the tournament? She had no one to feud with. She's on TV wrestling. She beat Charlotte in an underwhelming match with a very underwhelming finish. The way how she made Charlotte tap out in the main event. She's now going to the finals at Night Champion. She'll face Io Sky in the finals. Is she going to win or not? Who's he going to feud in the SummerSlam? Io Sky or someone else? And we also got Ricky saying he beat Carmelo Hayes in a very good match. Ricky cheated to beat Carmelo Hayes. Now we're going to get Ricky and Trick for the U.S. title. Now the other thing that were on the show, pretty filler. The other match was the MFTs, Tala Tonga and Tama Tonga versus Damian Priest and R-Truth. Priest and Truth got the victory because Solo Era helped Truth and Priest and Damian Priest win. They retain their titles. Now, there was some tension after the match with the MRT and Solo Sikoa. Could be setting up a breakup or something. Either way, who gives a shit? I didn't even care about the MRTs anyway. They're already dead. A dead fashion. I don't think we saw Roy Keith have a match. He didn't have a 7, I don't think. But yeah, that was that. Danhausen revived The Miz and Kit Wilson. Jey Uso beat Javon Evans. He will advance and face over Femi. People were kind of shocked about that and disappointed. We still got the main event, Jey Uso. We still got the Elite shit. Jey Uso threatened Cody Rhodes that he could possibly team to win the match. Now we did get AEW Collision, a shocking upset. Athena and Maya on World on AEW Collision. ZFJ versus Adam Priest. We got the Lucha Libre Worldwide Detroit show. Tommaso Ciampa and Chris Jericho. The Hurt Syndicate. You know what? Might well go into JD from New York to get this over with. Hold on.
2 p.m. will be live. The other baby in this entire genre.
Hold on.
Whatever it is on social media.
Alright. Well, might well just show this. Might well show y'all some of the podcasters.
Yeah, that people already assume that HOG will end up on my AEW. I don't know for sure. I don't know exactly what's going on there. We all know why my AEW exists in the first place, because they're basically telling you without actually telling you themselves that they're basically getting booted off of Warner Brothers Discovery. So they're trying to get everything in place, and good on them for doing it now. It's just you'll never hear a peep out of anybody or a peep out of any of these shill podcasters out there in the community about what exactly is going on. You know, a pro wrestling promotion is not going to hoard all of the independent pro wrestling promotions that exist in the United States and put them on a platform that they are basically turning into a mini WWE network. I mean, am I not allowed to just kind of call out what's exactly going on here? Or do you guys seem to still doubt Niccolo Piccolo? Seems like for the last 18 months, the man's been spot on. We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's going on. But I don't know exactly what's going on there, but YouTube is probably going to be the destination. And I think that's the right move to make. I think we'll kill it on YouTube. So, I want to thank everybody for showing up last night. We had a great show. I want to thank Johnny and his family for showing up last night. Johnny, if you're watching, thank you again, brother. Thank you for the cookies. The cookie really hit the spot after a night of pro wrestling and a couple of old fashions at the end of the show. So, got back to the hotel room and the cookies really hit the spot. So thank you and the wife and the kids for showing up and being a fan of what we do. Really appreciate you guys and everybody else that showed up there, that said what's up and really had some really nice things to say about House of Glory and both the work that me and Jason do here on YouTube. You guys killed it. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the next. I think we'll be back in Chicago at least one more time this year. And we have High Intensity coming up on August 7th. That will be right here in New York City, Queens, NYC Arena. It is going to be the biggest show that we put on all year. Always is. Smackdown. You know, I heard from a lot of people, and I think some people are really just kind of disingenuous, or they kind of want to get me riled up, and they really want me to just kind of shit on a show just for the sake of shitting on the show, because I guess that's more entertaining to them. That would have been the old way to do things here, but, you know, the last several years, I feel like we put out some of the best content that we have in all the time I've been on YouTube. I feel like I'm a little bit better of a content creator than I was all those years ago when I was just an amateur baby in this entire genre. I watch things with my own two eyes. I make my own assessments. I make my own judgments. Smackdown, I think you and I and everybody else can agree, has largely been a piece of shit television show. There's nothing about the show that is redeeming at all. And at 3 hours, it is a laborious watch. There's nothing fun about it. Everything from the top of the way that they do things at the start of the show all the way up until what they do is until the show is over. It's just very difficult to watch. Very difficult to watch. There's not enough characters that we genuinely care about. The stories are very weak. Some divisions are sorely lacking. And I think that's pretty much a common thread throughout the entire community. I think we all kind of feel that same way about SmackDown. Last night, I watched this on the plane, at the airport, on the way to boarding the airplane today. And I watched the rest of it on the airplane, which, honestly, the flight from Chicago to New York City was 1 hour and 30 minutes because we had some good winds help us out getting us to New York City. So it was a nice, easy watch. I thought last night's show was pretty decent. For the most part. I thought last night's show was pretty decent. Wasn't a great show by any means, but in this sea of Friday nights that we get that are largely just fucking horrible, I thought last night was a pretty decent show. They really built it up as a show that has somewhat of importance going into Night of Champions, and we had 2 semifinal matches for the King and Queen of the Ring. So we were going to get that all laid out and finalized, and we were going to get a full Night of Champions card kind of fleshed out. And then we had that WWE Championship match, which went commercial free at the start of the show. I thought they were going to close the show with it. I don't know why they opted to open the show with it. But, which was weird. When I first turned SmackDown on, I watched it on a VPN. And obviously, I thought the WWE Championship match was going to be on in the main event. It was not. So to see it open the show, I was a little surprised. I'm like, well, that's odd. Why would they do this in the open of the show and not in the main event? They actually closed with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Like, I don't really understand that decision. But I guess it's the way that they kind of overbooked the WWE Championship match, and they restarted the match at one point. They opened the show with the WWE title match. Cody, Gunther, Sami Zayn's a special guest referee. They really wanted to give this show somewhat of an important feel going into Night of Champions week. We got 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown left. I thought it was a decent show. I thought what they did with the WWE Championship match was largely the way that I expected it to be. I thought Sami's inclusion in the special guest referee spot I thought was really spot on. I thought what he did was exactly what needed to be. He's still the most interesting character in all of WWE right now, whether you want to admit it or not. Sami Zayn is a very, very intriguing aspect to the overall storylines that we're getting right now. Whether you like him or not, or whether you think he looks homeless or not a world champion or not, I don't really give a shit what people think about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and his work is still the most intriguing aspect of the show. I thought what they did was really good. I didn't mind the restart. The only part of that I did mind is the fact that it made Gunther look like a fucking idiot. And we'll explain why I felt that way. They didn't really make Gunther look good. They didn't really make Gunther look like a ring general on Friday night. This guy begged, pleaded, got lawyers involved for a WWE Championship rematch against Cody Rhodes because he cried that his boot was underneath the rope in Italy. And then all it takes is little old Sami Zayn to make a referee call he didn't agree with. And he ends up powerbombing Sami Zayn? He legitimately put his hands on a sanctioned official An official that he chose! And he ruined the entire match for himself. I don't really understand why, but I guess we had to get to a triple threat match if not a champions. The only thing I could think of. Jey Uso. Everybody was looking at this to see how WWE would play it out. Jey Uso is in the finals. He beat Javon Evans last night. We're now looking at Jey Uso and Obafemi in the finals in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions for the King of the Ring crown. We have Monday Night Raw. Monday, they're in London. If Brock Lesnar does not attack Obafemi on Monday, I'm giving it till Monday. We have 36 hours or so till Monday Night Raw, a little bit more than that.
I wasn't sleeping, I was watching this.
If Brock Lesnar doesn't show up on Monday, obliterate Obafemi, and leave that spot vacant for someone else to fill in, Jey Uso is winning King of the Ring. I don't see how WWE has Obafemi and Jey Uso go all the way to Saudi and we don't see Brock Lesnar. I don't see how WWE is going to constantly push Obafemi and Brock Lesnar and the narrative that Oba still wants Brock and a third match with Brock. I don't get how he has legitimately called him out the last 3 weeks and Brock Lesnar does not appear. Now, if I'm Brock, I said this on Monday, if I'm Brock, I don't really give a shit what Obafemi's doing. I beat him. I showed everyone that I could beat Obafemi. He did say that they are now 1+1. He beat Oba. He has no reason to fight Oba anymore. He beat Oba. He got his rematch. He beat Oba. That's it. He can go and do whatever else he wants to do. If I'm Brock, I'm waiting for Oba to win the King of the Ring. Because you would think, and this is just the way that I think, maybe I'm off. Maybe someone can chime in and tell me, JD, I think you're wrong there. I think, and I think Brock would think, that if you look at the field of the King of the Ring participants this year, that Obafemi had a very, 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 very good chance of winning the entire thing. And I think Brock kind of knew that. So if you're Brock Lesnar, why aren't you going to wait for Obafemi to win the King of the Ring? Get your championship match against Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. Beat either Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, and then get your third match and beat Obafemi for said World Championship. And get a World Championship match out of it. I mean, that's what I would do if I'm Brock Lesnar. Obafemi's calling Brock Lesnar out because Obafemi wants to beat Brock Lesnar. He wants to retire Brock Lesnar. He wants Brock Lesnar's head on a platter. He wants that Brock Lesnar head kind of plastered on his wall above his fireplace. But Brock's going to do what Brock's going to do. I guess we don't really need much of an explanation as to why Brock is going to do what Brock wants to do. Brock's unhinged. If Brock continues to get called out and be dehumanized, and if Oba continues calling him a bitch, I guess Brock can come out and kind of act maniacal the way he usually does. Cause a scene. This is why I said I'm giving it till Monday. Monday will have a little bit more of a reveal of where we're going. If Brock Lesnar doesn't show up on Monday and actively take Obafemi out of the tournament, and we legitimately get Obafemi versus Jey Uso in the finals of the King of the Ring, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you that Jey Uso is the 2026 King of the Ring. And I think that's fucking deplorable. I think it's fucking awful. And I think Triple H should be actively removed from his position as head of creative. I genuinely don't believe how we're sitting here talking about Jey Uso in the summer of 2026 wrestling either Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes in the main event of SummerSlam, a 2-night SummerSlam. We've all talked about every possible solution, every possible way out. I mean, I did it with Jason on Tuesday Night Titans this week. A lot of the narrative and a lot of what people actually want is for Oba to be removed from the tournament so that we don't have to beat Obafemi. What that means, what that looks like, I don't know, but there are two names that people have sat on. Randy Orton, who we haven't heard from since WrestleMania, and CM Punk, who we haven't heard from since the Raw after WrestleMania. Does Brock Lesnar show up at the O2 Arena on Monday in London and take out Obafemi, which then leaves both Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis scrambling to find a fill-in replacement for Obafemi? Now, does that tarnish the tournament? Yes, it does. It basically renders the tournament meaningless, because everybody else had to fight their way through this 16-man tournament, through Fatal 4-Ways, semifinals, and the finals, for ultimately somebody who does not compete in the tournament to fill that open spot and then get the finals against Jey Uso. Does it tarnish the tournament? Yes, it does. But WWE really isn't a company that relies on booking good tournaments. They don't give a fuck. As evidenced by this King and Queen of the Ring tournament, which they've largely used both tournaments to forward and funnel current storylines that you're featuring on TV, instead of giving us the highest of competition, the best quality of matches.
For 20 minutes.
That's what the tournament should really be giving us. Yet they've used it for Jey Uso Bloodline slop. They used it for Judgment Day slop. It's just a fact. If WWE finds a replacement for Obafemi, it does tarnish the tournament. I think everybody's hoping and praying that that is the case. Because at that point, either Randy Orton or CM Punk would be Cody Rhodes' opponent at SummerSlam. And we'd much rather have a Randy Orton CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes than a Jey Uso versus Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Nobody wants to see Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso against Roman Reigns. Nobody. Which is the dilemma that we're sitting in right now. I know a lot of people looking at me ranting or wanting me to rant about this. I think we've largely kind of come to grips with the fact that Jey Uso was always going to be in this position. I think you, me, and everybody else kind of knew that Jey Uso was a realistic possibility of winning King of the Ring this year, even though Obafemi was in the tournament. We've been calling out the same thing for weeks now. Where's Brock? Where's Brock? When's Brock going to attack Oba? Is it going to be in the opening round? Is it going to be in the second round? Is it going to be in the third round? Now we're heading towards the third round. We haven't seen him yet. Now he's got to book a flight to Saudi Arabia and attack Obafemi in a 3-minute spot to cost him the King of the Ring tournament. You do realize that. If Brock is not taking Oba out of the tournament on Monday, I am afraid to tell you that Jey Uso is your 2026 King of the Ring.
We're going to pull a chapter on what?
Because it will be at that point.
There will be a chapter in hand. We will.
Obafemi will lose. Thanks to Brock Lesnar. We get Obafemi Brock Lesnar 3 building to SummerSlam, which at that point would be 5 weeks away.
And if they did, then.
And Obafemi can finally conquer the beast.
Because that's not fair.
And no, for all the people that are spewing the narrative of, well, Oba could win, and then Brock Lesnar could attack him, and we can do Oba on night 1 wrestling Brock, and then Oba on night 2 wrestling Roman Reigns. No. Now, we're not going to book a third match with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi and then also build towards Obafemi and Roman Reigns. You either do one or the other. Obafemi versus Roman Reigns doesn't deserve half of your attention. Obafemi versus Roman Reigns doesn't deserve 40 to 50% of the build. Obafemi versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship deserves a true story, true progression over weekly television, and given a main event spot that it could have its undivided attention in the main event. We're not going to do Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar the same weekend we're doing Obafemi and Roman Reigns, because you need to give Obafemi and Roman Reigns 100% of your undivided attention. That narrative doesn't work.
Well, I made it very clear.
And don't you think that's a little bit too much for the young Obafemi who's basically been doing this less than 4 years?
Exactly.
And I know everybody's so hasty on crowning him the new guy and crowning him the new champion. Let's slow everything down. We can't give everything away in one weekend. If Oba is in the final with Jay and we don't see Brock take him out Monday, Jey Uso is wrestling either Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns, and I say either because Jey Uso could absolutely defy Roman Reigns and wrestle Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship because of the ongoing issues with Jey and Jacob Fatu, and Roman giving preferential treatment now to Jacob Fatu and looking at Jacob Fatu as the right-hand man. Jey Uso's not the right-hand man anymore. Jey Uso wants to be looked at in the bloodline as Roman's guy. Yet he's looking at Jacob Fatu that way. Again, it's a possibility. Neither of which we want as a fan base, as evidenced by what they did on social media and on YouTube. Go look at the dislikes with Jey Uso winning his match over Javon Evans and getting the final of the King of the Ring. And I know Nick Khan and Triple H and everybody else in WWE won't look at the social media and won't look at the numbers and won't look at the audience reaction online. They very much do.
Fans are vocal about on TV.
They very much do.
You should.
They got it on their desk in the morning.
Maybe you should see Punk and Cody Rhodes.
They got everybody's reactions and everybody's feelings and everybody's analytics on the desk of Triple H in the morning. They know. I'm sorry to tell you that they don't give a shit. They're going to do what they want to push their narrative, and their narrative right now is Jey Uso. Sadly. You know, tournaments in WWE are largely just fucking a waste of time. Here we talk about this. On one hand, Tony Khan books a very good tournament, but a very predictable tournament. The women's Owen has largely been a fucking fail this year because there were so many injuries. I don't really care for CMLL and Stardom talent and people that I don't really know or give a shit about in the tournament. It's about the AEW Women's Championship. I want there to be an AEW Women's Championship fought over by AEW women, not people that I've never heard of before, that work for a different company. That's not giving a good pro wrestling match away, that's giving away a predictable outcome. Because unless they're signed to a dual contract or a solo contract, nobody expects them to win. On the other hand, he books a very good men's tournament, which was largely predictable this year because of the whole Will Ospreay narrative, but we're going to get a final that is going to be one of the best matches of the year. And he puts people in the tournament that he could easily beat because he doesn't want to beat top guys. Which is the point I'm trying to make here. Tournaments should be used to get the best of the best in a singular elimination tournament. To find out who is the best. Who is the best and who deserves the championship opportunity most at the biggest show of the year. Same thing for the King of the Ring. The King of the Ring should be used to find out who is the best to challenge for any women's championship, any men's championship in the main event of SummerSlam. Yet we've been given Bloodline garbage and Judgment Day garbage and people in the tournament that we want to see succeed and advance, and most of them did not. tournament should be used to give us the best matches with the best people. Yet here we are with Jey Uso in the finals of the tournament, and we are to pretend that Jey Uso's in the finals because he's one of the best pro wrestlers in the WWE.
I'm gonna be here tomorrow, and I'm gonna tell you about the same thing. How dare you?
Liv Morgan's in the tournament because WWE can't find a story and proper competition for Liv Morgan. So let's give Liv Morgan the Queen of the Ring tournament final because we can't do our job of finding and booking her in a meaningful way. That's what it boils down to. Yet you want me to sit here and enjoy this slop and be positive about this shit that we're given because WWE's being unpredictable. Nobody expected Liv Morgan to be in the finals, huh? Yes, it sucks. Liv Morgan should be defending the championship against somebody else in the meantime while someone is in the tournament wrestling to fight her at SummerSlam. Yet we're doing this backwards.
You have no idea what we go through.
Yet we're doing this all backwards.
Our lives are the story.
Jey
We
Uso,
lost our children.
who's a tag team guy
My wife and I
that had a
lost our
failed
own
world
child.
title run.
Our only
You want me
daughter.
to just throw my hands in the air and accept the WWE garbage that they give us because Jey Uso's in the King of the Ring final now, and you want me to fucking like what they're doing here after nobody liked what they did before last year.
And your friends, you know.
I don't know how many times I could tell you pro wrestling in 2026 is shit. Both companies have dropped the ball already 6 months in the year. There's nothing exciting going on. There's nothing that I'm going to actively look back on when the year is over and say, man, I can't wait to go watch that year over year. Man, I can't wait to go watch that and show my friends how great and important of a moment this was. There's nothing this year that resonates anywhere along that level, ever.
And your friends think we were going to have a second child. But after you were killed, after you were murdered, we didn't. Nothing comes
Telling you,
to our
man.
daughter.
Jey Uso in the finals. If Brock is not on Monday Night Raw, Jey Uso's winning the King of the Ring. Get ready. Get ready. We'll talk Sammy and Gunther. Sammy and Cody. Triple threat match that is now booked for Night of Champions. We'll talk these King of the Ring semifinal matches. Finn Balor is on Smackdown and they clearly had no plan for him. Tiffany Stratton's defending the United States Championship against Jade Cargill. And more MFT's Solo Sikoa garbage. Smackdown wasn't as bad as it usually is, but the show's moving back to 2 hours on July 3rd. I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. Though we've all determined that the length of the show is not the problem. It's the roster and the people booking the show. We're going to go over this tonight here on Saturday night. This is your Friday Night Smackdown post-show a day late for your June 20th, 2026. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you go and check out all the great content on the channel. We're going to have a great week next week. We got Monday Night Raw, 2 p.m. on Monday. So we'll be live a little earlier. Tuesday Night Titans on Tuesday. We'll wrap up the week on TNT like we usually do with episode 152. I'll be live with the coach on Tuesday morning and the 2 count. Jesse and I will be live for the go each other twice in the early portions of this match. Crowd was obviously for Cody. Crossroads out of nowhere, lands on Gunther. He covered, but Sami Zayn stopped the count because, like I said, they did the same spot at Clash in Italy. Cody delivers the Crossroads next to the rope. He goes for the same cover next to the rope. Gunther at Clash in Italy had his boot underneath the rope. The official there did not see it. He put his boot underneath the rope. Here on SmackDown, Sami Zayn seen it. He stopped the count. He saw Gunther's foot underneath the bottom rope. Literally the same mirror spot from Clash in Italy. Cody argued with Sammy even though Zayn was right. Why are you arguing with Sami Zayn when clearly he made the right call? What are you arguing about? I mean, both guys just look fucking stupid. And the way that I look at it as a fan, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Sammy's doing his job. You want him to do his job. I know there's tensions between Sammy and Cody, but that's not the right situation to continue to build tensions between Sammy and Cody, because Sammy made the right call. It almost comes off as forced. That's the way that I look at it. You're forcing tension when there really is no situation that should cause that tension. If Cody is upset, Cody should be upset at himself, because he's the champion here. He's the professional. He's got a ring IQ, a masterful ring IQ. If you're going to deliver a crossroads, how about you move Gunther away from the fucking ropes and move him, pull him back to more center of the ring, and then cover him so Gunther doesn't put his boot underneath the rope. Yet Cody's arguing with Sammy. Give me a break, man. So Cody's arguing with Sammy, even though Zayn was right. Zayn, he's warning Cody not to put his hands on the official. He's got the pinstripes on. He's the official. Zayn pushes Cody into Gunther, who locked on the sleeper hold. Bro, I swear to God. I'm watching this, and nothing is going to ever top the 1997 SummerSlam with Shawn Michaels, special guest referee, between The Undertaker and Bret the Hitman Hart. Best WWE Championship ending to a match in the history of the company. In that match. I don't give a fuck what else you bring to the argument, you're wrong. Greatest ending and greatest outcome to a WWE Championship match in the history of WWE. Bro, when Shawn hit The Undertaker with the steel chair, he aimed for Bret. He hit Taker. His facial reaction sold the whole moment. Because he knew at that point he was fucked. Sami Zayn pushed Cody into Gunther, who was waiting there with a sleeper. Sami Zayn, he gave off that feeling of Shawn Michaels that night in New Jersey at SummerSlam 1997. He's like, oh shit. What did I just do?
You do your job.
What did I just do? Did I just cost Cody the WWE Championship? That was a great fucking spot. That was a great spot last night. I really enjoyed that. Sammy's reaction to that sold the whole fucking moment. That was the best part of the entire match, in my opinion. So Gunther's got the sleeper locked in. Zayn didn't know what to do. Gunther told Sammy that Cody was out cold. He's yelling, he's out, he's out, he's out. Cody managed to make it to the ropes. Gunther would not break the hold, so Sammy had to pull Gunther off of Cody. Gunther then starts pushing Sami Zayn. He starts pie-facing Sami Zayn. All of a sudden, Sammy slaps Gunther. Gunther then power bombs, and I mean power bombs, Sami Zayn. The match continues after this. Cody hits a super Cody cutter off the top rope. Cody hits crossroads. We got no ref. Another referee quickly runs down the aisle, slides into the ring. He made the count, but Gunther kicked it at 2. Gunther then powerbombed Cody, stacked him up. Second official started counting. Sami Zayn, who was on the outside via the powerbomb from Gunther just moments ago, pulled the second referee out of the ring. Zayn starts yelling at Gunther from the floor for putting his hands on him. Cody went for a sunset flip, but Gunther held on to the ropes in this very overly comical way. He's like, whoa! Whoa! It was overly comical. That Gunther was trying to hold on to the ropes or kind of leverage his balance, and then he grabbed the ropes. I'm like, bro. God, Gunther looks like such a schmuck. He really does. So Sammy gets in the ring. Gunther finally grabs the ropes. Sammy sees this. He kicks Gunther's hands off the ropes into Cody's pinning combination here. Sunset flip. 1, 2, 3. Sammy makes a fast count. Sami Zayn fast counted Gunther in a sunset flip. Pinning combination. 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna tell you about the same thing.
Cody Rhodes retains the WWE Championship because Sami Zayn decided to fuck over Gunther.
Now I got that out the way.
The match was short.
I can address the defendant, and I want to.
The match was short. We could have cut half. We could have cut something else on this show to let it go a little bit longer. 12 minutes is not enough for Cody and Gunther. I don't give a shit what story you're trying to tell. 12 minutes for Cody and Gunther is inexcusable. Inexcusable. So let me get this straight. Sami Zayn is enforcing the rules. He's playing by the rules. He's trying to call this match down the middle. He had no problem at all with Sami Zayn and his officiating. Cody gets upset at him because Cody wanted to throw an extra punch in there against the referee's discretion. Cody's getting upset at Sami Zayn because Sami stopped the count because he noticed Gunther's boot underneath the bottom rope. Gunther's getting upset at Sami Zayn because he couldn't tap out or pass out Cody in the sleeper hold. And then he starts getting upset at Sami Zayn. So both Cody and Gunther were getting upset at Sami Zayn, chat, legitimately, for absolutely no reason. I can understand Cody being a little disappointed that Gunther's boot was underneath the bottom rope, but then in that situation, you are the WWE champion. You already went through this same spot. You look like an idiot. If you're going to deliver your finishing move, maybe move the guy that you executed the finishing move on away from the ropes so that we don't get a rope break or someone's boot underneath the rope so that it would stop the referee's count. You were just, at that point, asking for what? Sami Zayn to ignore the boot underneath the rope? Because he's your friend? I didn't really understand why you got upset at Sami Zayn over that. It doesn't make any sense. And then Gunther's upset because Sami shoved Cody into Gunther, and Gunther's upset at what? The fact that Sami Zayn didn't help him beat Cody? Gunther's upset at what? The fact that Cody didn't pass out? Or tap out? What possessed you to put your hands on the official that you chose? I don't get it. He shoves Sami, puts his hands on Sami, Sami slaps him. Then he powerbombs Sami Zayn. Bro, Gunther is the ring general. We are to understand that Gunther has the biggest ring IQ out of anybody in the entire industry. Never mind WWE, in the entire industry. Yet you want me to think that Gunther is so upset, so rattled over Sami Zayn and the job that he's done here, that it possessed him to powerbomb Sami Zayn and cost himself the WWE Championship match that he so desperately wanted coming out of Clash in Italy. Bro, both Cody and Gunther look like complete fucking geeks. Complete geeks. They really tried to over-embellish the tensions and get Sami involved. Situation here, situation there, that Cody would get upset at Sami about, Gunther would get upset about. Bro, you don't need to give me situations, 3, 4, 5 situations in a match that tease tension between the pro wrestler who's guest officiating and the two combatants in this ring. You should only save it for the end of the match.
And you're gonna hear from me.
Genuinely.
I'm gonna tell him
It made Gunther look like a fucking geek. Because he put his hands on the official and he powerbombed Sami Zayn. Gunther cost himself the WWE Championship. And in turn, Sami said, fuck this guy. He put one on me. I'm gonna fuck him over. And he fast counted Gunther. Sami Zayn was the best part of this match. Sami Zayn's inclusion was the best part of this match. And we knew that this was probably going to result in a triple threat match. And that's exactly what we were heading towards going into Night of Champions. So Gunther was up. He was fucking angry at the end of the match. He was angry. We went right to a commercial break. When we come back from the break, everyone's arguing with Nick Aldis about what happened. They're all in gorilla. They're all in the gorilla position. Gunther's arguing with Nick Aldis. Cody's arguing with everybody. Sami Zayn is there. Cody eventually walks away from Sami Zayn and Gunther. Gunther is beating up Sami Zayn in gorilla. Throws him into the fucking wall in gorilla. So Cody leaves. He goes out to ringside. He walked back out to the ring. He demanded for another referee to come back out here and restart the match. So Sami Zayn was the official here. He's getting angry at Nick Aldis. I'm the official. You trusted me with this match. This is ridiculous. I'm the last and final call here. So Sami was upset because they didn't trust him with the final call. His final call didn't stand. So Nick Aldis is going to allow this match to continue with a different referee. And Sami's upset about that because he thought he was the end-all be-all here. He thought he was going to be the deciding factor, the deciding referee in Gunther and Cody Rhodes because he's the last good guy in WWE. So like I said, Gunther threw him into the wall, beat him up there. Another referee comes on out. Gunther runs out there. We get the match restarting. And we got a second WWE Championship match. The bell rings. So Cody is punching Gunther. They're going back and forth. Cody Rhodes ducks a clothesline from Gunther. Gunther stops a Cody cutter. Gunther goes for the sleeper hold. Cody counters with a sleeper hold of his own. Gunther Irish whips Cody across the ring. He gets the sleeper hold finally applied. Cody Rhodes refuses to quit. So we get a sleeper hold exchange back and forth. Cody backs Gunther into the turnbuckles. Sami Zayn runs on out and knocks Gunther out with a haluva kick, causing a disqualification in the restart of this WWE Championship match. After the match, Sami Zayn grabbed the WWE Championship title belt away from the referee here. He punches the referee out. Sami Zayn is talking shit to Gunther. Sami Zayn has his back turned to Cody. Cody comes and puts his hands on Sami Zayn. Sami still has the championship belt in his hand. Turned around and swung at Cody and knocked him out with the WWE title. He didn't realize that it was Cody Rhodes. I mean, who else would it be? Did he think it was Nick Aldis or another WWE referee? It ended up being Cody Rhodes that he knocked out. After the match, Sami Zayn throws a temper tantrum in there. He's receiving a ton of boos. Sami sucks chants. So they restarted the match. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes have a reason to be upset at Gunther. Or Sami Zayn, rather, and Gunther and Cody Rhodes. With what happened here, Cody Rhodes and Gunther have a reason to be upset with Sami Zayn. They do. They do. Gunther has a reason to be upset because Sami decided as the official that he felt like it was right to kick his hands off the ropes, and then he gave Gunther a fast count. But none of that would have happened if you didn't touch Sami Zayn in the first place. None of that would have happened if you didn't powerbomb Sami Zayn. In my opinion, Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes and Gunther, there's unfinished business there. And sure, they have all reasons to be upset at each other, but Gunther has nobody to blame but himself, and Cody Rhodes has nobody to blame but himself. So, in my eyes, they both look stupid. Instead of Sami Zayn, letting Sami Zayn do his job. The one thing I did like about this is the fact that it really did showcase, especially starting Smackdown, which I didn't really understand why they started the show with this. I wouldn't have started the show with this. I would have absolutely saved this for the main event. It did make SmackDown feel bigger than most weeks. Just having a WWE Championship match on the show in general made this feel bigger than SmackDown does most weeks. And I do like that. I do miss that important feel when something like this is on the show. We don't get enough important things. We don't get enough things that make it feel important on the show. We don't get enough that makes it feel big on the show. I really miss that. I think a lot of what we felt here and it feeling important is because of this. We don't usually get a WWE Championship match on SmackDown or on Raw. They are rare, but when we get them, it does feel big. I wish we got that just a little bit more often. If not a championship match, Cody Rhodes wrestling on the show, developing a story, forwarding a story. Gunther wrestling, forwarding a story. Largely, I thought what they did was good. I enjoyed a lot of this. It's a little comical that Gunther, the ring IQ of Gunther, put his hands on the official, an official that he handpicked himself. That's the part I don't really get. He hand-chose Gunther. And here he is putting his hands on his hand-chosen official. What made him want to pick Sami Zayn to begin with if he didn't trust Sami Zayn? If you didn't trust Sami Zayn enough, why is he there? Clearly you didn't if you put your hands on him. Kathy Kelly. She's backstage with Jade Cargill. B-Fab and Michin are standing there. Where does Jade's focus lie after losing to Charlotte Flair in the Queen of the Ring tournament? So Jade asks Kathy, do we have a problem? I don't know, Jade. Maybe Kathy Kelly is just doing her job as an on-screen analyst / reporter. Jade and her not-so-baddies do whatever they want in this division. Jade says that she's going to make a pit stop towards Tiffany Stratton since she doesn't know how to mind her business. B-Fab doesn't know why Tiffany would cost Jade the match when she's not even in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Jade starts boasting about injuring Rhea Ripley. Since Night of Champions needs some star power, she says, Jade is challenging Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's United States Championship. I pray to God that Rhea Ripley's injury is not as serious as people are fearing it is. They legitimately took her off the Night of Champions poster. They knew weeks in advance that she would not be at the show. So they ended up putting Tiffany Stratton on the poster, which is why this match was made, and I'm assuming that Jade and Charlotte's going to be the direction going into SummerSlam. But I think we all figured just coming out of last week with Jade holding up the Women's United States Championship after delivering a jaded to Tiffany Stratton, that this more than likely would be a pit stop on the way to SummerSlam. Now, me personally, I'm not interested in another Jade and Tiffany Stratton match. I did not care for what they did last year. I did not care. I thought most of what they did was utter shit. Yet here we are getting it again. Is Tiffany better than she was last year? I mean, the verdict is out on that one. I can't really tell. I don't like Tiffany Stratton as a babyface, personally. Has Jade gotten better? No.
Oh, not even close.
There's been glimmers of Jade doing really good depending on who she's in the ring with, i.e. Rhea Ripley. I thought the match at WrestleMania personally was the better of the two matches that they had. We love Julia. And for I don't know how long. Oh my God. How much longer are we going to have to sit here and endure this slop? Is there anything else? Seriously. Pretty started off against Tonga. They locked up. Priest ended up crotch chopping him. A huge geek and less intimidating. Gunther automatically assumed Sammy would help him since Sammy and Cody have had issues. I think the general consensus is out, guys. Gunther looks like a geek. That's the way that I took it. Does he look less intimidating? Probably. This guy had final boss aura. Now he's complaining to Nick Aldis about things that he should be looking at himself in the mirror about. Gunther's the reason why he's not the WWE champion. The first time I understood it, in Clash in Italy, I understood it. Tonight, I don't. Tonight, I don't. Solo Sikoa. We see Solo in his dressing room, and in comes Jacob Fatu. Are you here to deliver another request from Roman Reigns? Says Solo. If so, the answer is still no. Jacob says, I'm not here for none of that. I'm here to make sure that no one gets involved in Jay's match tonight. And to keep it 100, Solo is making the wrong decision. Not joining Roman in the bloodline. Jacob says that Solo is running out of time to make the right choice. What does that even mean? Jacob tells Solo to take it how he wants. It's not up to Jacob, it's not up to him. It's up to Solo. Solo then starts mocking Jacob after he walks away. He's like, well, not up to me, it's up to you. What does that even mean? Starts mocking him in like a geek-like voice. Solo's got some charisma. I enjoy Solo when he's by himself. This MFT stuff is garbage. Speaking of which, the MFTs appear. Tama Tonga. He wants to know what's going on. Solo says, don't worry about it. That's Roman trying to make him come back to the family. Not going anywhere. They don't have anything to worry about. The plan is for tonight, bringing home the WWE Tag Team titles, bringing them back to the family. Tama Tonga then says, your family business is starting to mess with our family business. I think it's best for you to stay in the back while we wrestle for the Tag Team Championships. So Tama Tonga basically said, if Solo goes out there, there's no telling who's going to follow him out there. Tama Tonga got some words. They actually gave him some promo time. Tama Tonga says that the bloodline is not their problem. The tag team titles are. We got another Blake Monroe vignette. This time, her Dear Diary submission. No rhyme or reason, no explanation. You know, it's nice to see that WWE wants to push their talents that they prior did not use, now use them in AAA, and then all of a sudden think that now that they're champions, the hardest thing to do in the world is staying true to yourself. This was the longest match on the night, which kind of goes to show you that Carmelo is the true workhorse of Friday Night Smackdown. I just hope that when the show goes to 2 hours, that Ricky and Melo and their contributions to the actual in-ring aspect don't get cut short. I know with a 3-hour show, we're more and more capable of doing Melo. That's what I'm here for. I want to see that. All of us actually are tired of the Usos in general, but if you're going to give me the Usos as a tag team is where they should be. But there's no division. There's no need for the Usos if there's no tag team division. But that doesn't mean we want to see Jey Uso fucking win and win and win and get to the semifinals and win and win and win. 40,000 people are just absolutely sick and tired of Jey Uso. People are talking about it. People are engaging. People are in. They're invested. People aren't. He runs into Solo Sikoa backstage. Solo says that he's figured it all out. Roman Reigns sent Jacob here so he can get in Solo's head and stick his nose into his business. Solo is a message for the tribal chief. If Roman continues to mess around with Solo's family, then maybe he needs to come to Raw to start to mess with his family. It's bad enough we get the MFTs on Friday. Now we're going to get the MFTs on Monday? Yeah, you think this current creative direction is where it's all at, huh? Tiffany Stratton's backstage with Kathy Kelly. Tiffany knows that Jade is desperate for another kind of put some pressure on the knee and kind of snapped her back. And Liv ended up tapping Charlotte Flair out. And that's the way we go off the air with Friday Night Smackdown. Cody and Gunther did not main event. They opted to main event with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Jey Uso and Javon Evans didn't main event. They opted to main event with Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. I don't understand why. Why? The WWE Championship should be the last thing on the night. It's the biggest storyline on the show, it's the most important thing going on, and it's the biggest title in the company. It should be the last thing that we see, not Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is in the finals with Io. WWE has now set up Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill for the WWE two-night SummerSlam that we're about to get in Minneapolis. Tiffany Stratton was out there to help Charlotte. They all have a problem with Jade and the not-so-baddies. Jade blamed Tiffany. Jade is upset at Charlotte. Jade wants the United States title now, and then she'll worry about Charlotte. Charlotte and Jade is happening at SummerSlam, which was directly set up here. You took Charlotte out of the tournament to set up Jade and Charlotte. What this means for Rhea, I don't know. Hopefully Rhea is able to go by SummerSlam. I would be worried and upset if that's not the case. Because at that point, then the Women's Championship is going to be in a not-so-good situation. Hopefully she's ready. They're doing Liv and Io. I don't like Liv in the final. I don't like Liv in the tournament. The tournament should be used to find somebody to wrestle either Rhea or Liv. But people are going to overlook the fact that Liv is in the tournament, and they're not going to really question why Liv is in the tournament, because Liv is on TV wrestling. Liv is on TV winning as Women's Champion. The problem is, WWE only put Liv in the tournament because they're so fucking clueless and they're so inept as to what to do with Liv Morgan that when Stephanie Vaquer went down with injury, WWE had absolutely no other plans or any desire to create any other plans for Liv Morgan as the Women's Champion. They basically tucked their tails and their heads in between their legs and they hoped that it would all kind of work itself out. So the only reason why Liv is in the tournament is because WWE had no other ideas for Liv Morgan as the world champion, and now we sit with Liv Morgan and 70 days or so into this championship reign with 0 defenses. 0. It's not really what I call championship material. Now you're realistically giving me the final in Saudi for what could very well be the SummerSlam Women's Championship match in Minneapolis. If I see it here on Saturday, why do I want to see it again in Minneapolis? That's the way WWE thinks. I'm more interested in Io winning and wrestling Rhea. I don't give a fuck about Io and Liv. I don't give a shit about Liv, period. And I think she's largely very good. Just the way that she's been booked. That makes me not care. WWE has botched these tournaments. WWE has primarily used the Queen of the Ring to get Liv Morgan into a wrestling role because they don't have anything else for her to do. They've used the Queen of the Ring to sell us on Judgment Day slop with Roxanne and Raquel. And they used the Queen of the Ring tournament to get us Jade and Charlotte for SummerSlam. none of this has to do with building up the future, getting us the best matches, finding Liv an opponent for SummerSlam. When Liv is in the finals of the tournament, how are we going to find Liv an opponent for SummerSlam? If you look at this Queen of the Ring tournament as any sort of success, you're fucking mental. You're clueless. This has done nothing out of the ordinary. It's given no opportunities to anybody new. It's not given a foundation and a spotlight to anybody on the roster. None. But what do I know? What do I know? We got Jey Uso in the finals against Obafemi, more than likely going to win the King of the Ring. And we got Liv Morgan and Io Sky, with Liv Morgan being the women's champion in the finals of a tournament that is set up to find her an opponent. Brother, if you find this to be where we legitimately need to be for creative in WWE, this is the primary reason why the product is as uninteresting as it is. Garbage. On one hand, you could look at Smackdown setting up things for what's to come, and they've put the pieces where they need to. Cody and Gunther, you can call them geeks, and Sami Zayn, him being the special guest referee. I liked largely what they did there. Smackdown is the worst show on television, next to AEW Dynamite. This wasn't as bad as it's been in previous weeks. But bro, if the show is going back to 2 hours, man, we gotta change things drastically. We do. I can only hope at 2 hours it's gonna get better.
Algebra, accounting, statistics.
Once you get a taste for something different.
Alright, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the WWE Smackdown Watch Along. It is Friday, June 19th. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, and I'm here with Santi, Zach, and Santi. I've been getting a little bit of a mixed reaction with everybody in regards to SmackDown, but I kind of feel like people are leaning a little bit on the what the hell did we just see on this episode? But first and foremost, how are you?
I'm on the side of what the hell did we just see. I'm doing pretty good. Canada and Colombia both having solid World Cups so far, so shout out to that. We finally got our first World Cup win in the history of our country by winning 6-0, so all of that is great. But, you know, you said, Santi, you're on time. It's because I'm trying to jump on here and get through this conversation as quickly as possible, because that episode of SmackDown was, like, insultingly bad.
And it was a nice long 3 hours, though.
3 hours. Oh yeah, I couldn't wait for the final hour of that show. Oh my God, do these episodes drag on?
When we were an hour in, someone commented in the live stream and they said, "Dude, we still got 2 hours of this show left." And I thought, oh my God, I did not need to hear that. But here's the thing, though. I think there were some fine things on this episode. There were just a couple of things, though, that went down, that took place here, that I think a lot of people were kind of upset about. One, I think it was the craziness of what went down with Gunther and with Cody. And then the decision to have Jey Uso win, I think that kind of had a little people, like a couple of people being like, oh, we didn't like that. Some of the filler stuff that we saw on the show, and then the 500,000 replays and rewinds, and hey, this happened 15 minutes ago, and hey, this happened last week. There was a lot of that. Whereas, honestly, Santi, I think if this was not only just a 2-hour show, but had you only seen the King and Queen of the Ring matches, plus the stuff with Cody and Sammy and Gunther and all of that, the Ricky and Carmelo match, I think had we gotten just that on the show, it wouldn't have felt as atrocious as some people may feel. Because we've had a couple of people that have come on here and they're calling this the worst SmackDown of the year, which I don't think so. There's had to have been worse. Can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know that I can commit to saying it's the worst SmackDown of the year, but this was a bad show. Like it was a bad show. I don't think that there's much in terms of where the good could fully outweigh the bad here. I think the bad like sinks this episode like the Titanic. Like it's in the bottom of the Atlantic with a couple billionaires trying to go after it a few decades later in a submarine, okay? That's where this episode of SmackDown is at.
Okay, so Santi, I gotta yell at you a little bit right now because last week, this is what I hate about myself. I always go with my gut feelings, but I'm easily persuaded. And last week, Santi, I fucking told you. I said Gunther is not winning this championship, and you were like, yeah, he is, Denise. Sami Zayn's gonna cost him, and Gunther's gonna win, or else he's gonna look stupid. And I thought, you know what, Santi's right. Gunther is gonna look stupid.
And didn't he look
And
stupid?
he looked stupid.
Oh my
Yes.
god! Oh my god! I was bitching and moaning about this the whole time. It's like, okay, Gunther, let me fucking get this straight, Gunther. You pick the stipulation, which was smart. You get your own rep that has beef with Cody Rhodes. What do you decide to do? You beef with the ref, you power bomb him, and lose because you created beef with the ref. When you could have just, I don't know, used your advantage, won with the beef that Cody and Sami have. Like, there's just no rhyme or reason or logic. The ring general's a fucking moron. If that guy is going to be a general, then what the hell? I could be a ring general, Denise. I think I have just as much in-ring smarts as Gunther. I couldn't believe how utterly stupid this episode of SmackDown made Gunther look. On top of, like, even at the very beginning, before all that stuff, when he ate a crossroads, and what does he do? He hangs his leg under the ropes like, that didn't work for you last time! Why would you try that again? Why? It didn't work for you! Why would you rely on that working again this time? Are you stupid?
Look, this is not where I thought we were going with Gunther. I held Gunther to a higher pedestal because he's retired big names. He's done big things. He's a serious wrestler. He kicks ass. He chops people to death. All of that. And what they've had him do at the Clash in Italy, when he put his foot there and no one did shit, no one cared. He was out there complaining, looking crazy, even though he was right. They should have done their job. The referees, someone should have done their job and said, hey man, we need to run this back, right? Okay, we finally get it for SmackDown. He does pick the stipulation. He does pick the ref. And I got to agree with you. How do you pick Sami Zayn because he was the last real good guy, and then you start a problem with him. So where is the whole point was that he was supposed to have a strategy. His strategy was that he was going to pick a referee who was good, who was fair, who was honest, and then when that ref, when he thought he wasn't doing his job, started getting in his face. So unfortunately, I agree, this didn't make Gunther look the very best, and now the thing that also, I kind of got excited for a second, Santi, when they decided to restart the match, and I jokingly thought, they might just have Sami go out there and attack, and then it'll just end up being a DQ. But then I thought, no, maybe they're doing it again so that we actually get a winner, whether it's Cody or Gunther. I just want a real winner. But no, within like 30 seconds or however long, Sami goes back out there. There's only one pro that I think came out of this whole scenario, Santi. The one pro is that Sami is getting hella heat right now. That's it. That's the only thing. He's out there ripping Sami sucks signs, all of that. But that's it. Right now, Cody and Gunther, oh, bless his heart, man. We're getting the triple threat at Night of Champions. It is in Saudi Arabia. Is there any chances if the title changes hands that it doesn't go to Gunther and somehow, some way, Sami sneaks in and takes that strap?
I hate to give the answer I'm about to give, but this story has been so disjointed. It's been bad for everybody involved. Maybe not Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn's kind of like the only one that I've seen their stock actually go up because of this storyline, because of this feud. But it's been so convoluted, so unnecessarily confusing, so frustrating, so insulting to the intelligence of the viewer that I don't care. I don't care who wins at Night of Champions. I hope we get a new champion and then we get a reset, and all I want is this to end. End this. Cody wins, okay, move on, start something new. Sammy wins, move on from this, start something new. Gunther wins, move on, start something new. I don't care who wins out of these three anymore. I just don't. I just need this storyline to be done. I need to have my eyes bleached, and I just need to take a couple sleeping pills to just teleport myself to the next time that the WWE Undisputed Championship is actually booked well. Also,
I don't think
by
they're
the
going
way,
to do anything interesting for Night of Champions.
I agree. Probably not, because you got SummerSlam right around the corner. Here's the other thing, like, Cody Rhodes cannot buy a main event. What is going on here?
Well, okay, so a couple of people were bringing that up. They were like, okay, why did this match open the show? And there were a couple of theories that were thrown out. One was the World Cup. Now, I don't know the World
100%.
Cup schedule, but people were saying that the Brazil game had started, I think roughly around like the end of that Cody Gunther match.
It started exactly at the end. I made the joke that it felt like somebody in Gorilla was watching the World Cup and said, okay, now end it. I'm not kidding. It ended exactly.
The first portion of it or the second portion?
The first portion. The first portion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So there you go. It could be that, or also I have heard some people talk a little bit about how the commercial structure works and how it's actually easier to get. So you know how they did the whole first, 30 minutes of the show was basically commercial free? I have heard people say that are like in production and things like that. They have said that, it is easier to get that free commercial space at the top of the show than it is at the end of the show. Again, I don't really know since that's not really my job. I don't know about that type of stuff, but I have heard stuff like that. So I feel like it all sort of aligned for this to open the show. Maybe it was a commercial thing, a break thing, it's easier to get away with, and then also the timing of the actual World Cup. So all of that fell into place. But I hate to say this, man, but I don't really think anything's really going to happen at Night of Champions. I feel like we're kind of just in a place where WWE is really keeping things in a way where they're trying to stretch everything out and really only making changes and actually having things happen at the big shows. And we know the big show coming up is going to be SummerSlam. I really don't think they're going to make any moves until we get to SummerSlam.
I think the only thing I can point to is, hey, they had a WWE Championship change 6 weeks before WrestleMania. So I guess it's not impossible, but I just don't see it happening. I do think Cody's just going to carry this thing right to SummerSlam. But hey, if Gunther does win, there is the possibility that they could rerun Jey Uso versus Gunther. Isn't that exciting? Wouldn't that get you to watch?
Say that. Do not even put that out there. Do not even put it out there. I would cry, okay? And I'm a fan of both of them, but we've been there, done it too much. We got 16 seconds to London's here, who says they might as well make the match for the title at Queen of the Ring final. Well, yeah, because Liv is the champion. Insane. Thank you, 16 seconds to London. We got Sultan of Wrestling here, who says WWE is allergic to letting Liv Morgan hoop whenever she's world champion. They barely let her wrestle, and when she does, it's always inundated and with tomfoolery, interference galore. Okay, so since a couple of our super chats are primarily right now about Liv Morgan, let's talk about this, because what ended up closing out the show was Liv Morgan versus a Charlotte Flair that was not 100%. She was jumped by Jade Cargill and attacked in that previously injured ACL, and so the entire match she was basically in pain. I didn't even think that they would go to the end of the hour, because they had like 20 minutes where they had to go out there and do this match, and Charlotte was limping and barely getting through the match, and everything that she did was a sacrifice. So at that moment, Santi, you, me, and everyone, I think we all realized what was happening there. Liv Morgan is winning this thing. But here's my question though, do you think that this was always the plan, or did Rhea Ripley's injury change things?
It's so hard to tell. I'm still a little bit, up in the air as to like how much of the Rhea Ripley injury is a work in the sense, because the announcement came from WWE themselves as opposed to being reported on by one of the online dirt sheets or whatever it might be. So anytime WWE reports something, I'm always like, how real is this, right? Like the machine, the one that moves the fictional characters around, they're the ones telling me about the injury. Do I believe it or not? You know, we know about WWE and their recent this like willingness to fake injuries, right? So I don't know, right? I'll treat it as fact. Do it for the
You
sake
don't
of
think
this.
they learned their lesson with Seth Rollins? After he ended up cursing the entire vision
Bad
and also
juju
getting
for
hurt.
sure. Absolutely bad juju. Let's treat it as real for the sake of this. Did this change anything? No, because like you put the champion in there. Logic dictates the champion is the best of the best. She should go all the way through to the Queen of the Ring finals, which is precisely why people are like, why the fuck was she in this in the first place? She doesn't need to be in this. She should be having feuds for that championship instead. I think WWE would just kind of put themselves in a bad position also with this with this match between Charlotte and Liv Morgan, because this didn't make Liv look strong. She looked weak. She didn't look like a clever heel, you know, that took advantage of this. It took her 30 minutes, almost, to beat a one-legged woman. Who was this for? Who was this making look strong? Another thing, and I'm so negative Nancy today. I really hated this episode of Smackdown. I apologize. I usually try to find the good. The other thing that I pointed out, and this might be a Santi thing, but I'd love to get your opinion here. They've been doing such a great job, and Charlotte has been doing such a great job at being such an organically over babyface. Like, you want to root for her because you want to root for her, and her whole tale with Alexa Bliss has been great. You can see kind of like that change in demeanor and character. You can tell that she loves that she's finally connecting with the crowd. This whole, my knee, oh no, oh look how strong I am, and how much I'm fighting through the pain, it just screams manufactured. It felt like they were trying too hard with having her be this like courageous babyface, when like, guys, like, you guys have been doing such a great job at telling the babyface arc of Charlotte Flair on its own. It didn't need this fluff. This fluff, all it was is fluff. This fluff, all it did was hurt Liv Morgan. Entirely unnecessary fluff. Why Liv Morgan needs to go up against a nerfed opponent when she's the champion is crazy to me. I don't get that. I really don't.
I think from their perspective, they did want to sell the, hey, I'm Charlotte, and this really means a lot to me. I really want to get that 15 World Championship, and I'm going to battle through this. And I think for them, it was more so of, I think they wanted to really do a babyface Charlotte Flair, like, oh my God, let's build sympathy for her. I think that's what they wanted to do. I think my issue was in the back, it was okay. Had she just got it up and been like, you know what, guys, I can do this match. Okay, cool, go out there. But I think Nick Aldis going out there, then everybody else, and Alexa, and everyone being like, oh my God, don't do this, your knee, your leg, your blah, blah, blah. I think they overdid it, where
100%.
it should have just been a very quick, you know what, I got this, I'm Charlotte Flair, because, look, we all know here that Charlotte Flair is on another level. I was not expecting Charlotte Flair to be like, oh, I can't do the match, or hey, someone's going to substitute for me. Absolutely not. I knew Charlotte would go out there. I knew she wouldn't be her 100%, but I knew she would go out there and do the match. So I don't think it needed all that extra overproduction in this actual matchup. And then with the Liv Morgan stuff, it did bum me out, because I do think that when you have a champion that is, I know, and I get it, she's a heel champion, so this kind of covers it a little bit, but when you have a champion who doesn't care that they won this match, you know, just because the other person wasn't doing so well, but the only thing that I can think of is, okay, she's a heel, so she's going to be okay with it, she's not going to give a shit, and even though in the fans' eyes, now you have Liv Morgan, who, one, shouldn't have been in the tournament, two, hasn't been actually defending the championship, and three, won this matchup where she wasn't, competing against a full, strong Charlotte Flair. Now, for me, as a fan, the thing that I felt the most was I felt like I kind of got robbed a little bit, because I was really looking forward to this matchup. When I saw that this match was announced, I was so excited. You and I came on here and we were like, oh my God, when's the last time we saw Charlotte versus Liv Morgan? Okay, it's been, X amount of years. And I was really hoping that we would get a real match, and this didn't turn out to be the kind of match that I thought it was going to be. So that to me was the part that got me down about it. But now, Liv Morgan is going to go on to face Io Sky. Now, for any other situation, we'd be like, okay, cool, whatever, right? But Liv Morgan is the champion. So does she win all the way straight through, try to go for that second belt? I don't know what this means for Rhea. I don't know what any of that means. Or does she lose to Io Sky, and then Io Sky challenges her again? Because if Liv loses to Io and Io wants to face Liv again for that championship, then we'll just be seeing a rematch.
Which, why? Why spoil that match already if that's the intention? Because if you're let's pretend Io Sky wins, why wouldn't she pick the person she's already beaten? It's so logical. It just makes so much sense. But that's just kind of robbing us of seeing it for the first time, right? We don't need to put ourselves in this position. It feels like an unnecessary unveiling of the Christmas gifts when we can just wait. Just wait. We don't have to open the Christmas gifts in the closet.
I'm almost hoping that the original plan was to have Charlotte win. And I know that's kind of, crazy at this point, but I'm hoping that the original plan was to have Charlotte win, go on to face Io so that they can tell the story with Rhea. But I'm guessing Rhea's injury really changed that stuff up, and that's why we're kind of moving forward with Liv in this situation. So who knows?
Yeah. Are we thinking that the play then it's Io, Liv, SummerSlam, and maybe potentially keeping Rhea entirely off of SummerSlam and running Jade versus Charlotte for the U.S. title at SummerSlam?
I think so at this point, yeah. But it also bums me out, though, because I don't want Tiffany Stratton to lose the U.S. Championship either. Oh, and by the way, I just learned that this is the first time that we're going to have the U.S. Women's Championship be defended in a PLE, and I thought, holy damn, I didn't even realize that.
Year and a half, and it's finally getting on a PLE. I always said, the upside of a Tiffany Stratton holding this title is that WWE actually cares about Tiffany Stratton, and it could actually get on a PLE, and it's paying dividends here.
We got Change Comics here. It says, guys, I'm going to be real. The Yeah Movement might actually save WWE right now. Not even kidding. Kofi Mania saved 2019 WWE, so maybe, who knows? I'm not there yet. Santi, are you thinking that the Yeah Movement might actually save WWE right now?
I think right now I've got all my chips in Obafemi. Anytime there's an Obafemi segment, I'm glued to the screen. So that's the thing I'm the most interested in. Also, what fucking lie? Kofi Kingston didn't save 2019. 2019 was already doomed. As great as Kofi Mania was, there was no saving 2019. Nothing saved that metric butt ton of ass juice of a year.
We got Night One Viewer says SmackDown has gone downhill the last few months. Well, hopefully it starts to reshape, especially once we get into SummerSlam, once we get into the 2 hours. I'm hoping it works out. Uncle Donk here says, let's effing go Team Canada. Switzerland will be a tough match. Hope to Davies on the pitch.
Yeah, go
I don't know what any of that means, but yes.
Canada. Ooh, Canada. I said, ooh, Canada. I said, ooh, Canada. We have terrible
I like that song. I like that song. It's kind of fun.
It's better. Have you heard the really lame American one?
No. I don't know any of the chants. Not one.
Because we support the U.S., the U.S., the U.S., and that's the way we like it. We like it. We love it. Oh.
Wait, I like the part where it goes, wait, sing it again? Hold on. Sing it again.
We support the U.S., the U.S., the U.S., and that's the way I like it. I like it. We love it.
I like the I like it part.
You like
I like because it reminds me of a song. Which song is it? The da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na, da-na-na.
I'm not really sure what.
There's a song. Yeah, what song is that? It's the da-na-na, da-na-na. There's a song. Yeah. And it sounds like it's based off of that.
Okay, I mean, it is common for football chants to be based on something.
Okay, I need to know which song it is because now it's like stuck inside my head. But yeah, no, now I need to know. Do you know all the team's chants? We should just do a segment where you teach me all the world's chants.
I know quite a few. I know quite a few, but if
All
we
right,
just did
bust them
English,
out.
we'd be here
Bust
for
them
3
out.
hours.
All right, bust out one more. What else you got?
Let me see here. I'm trying to think of like really bad ones. Oh, I can't say that one. It's
Which
a
one?
recent Australian one. No, I cannot say that. It involves Trump. It gets in trouble.
Oh, I need to get in there and see these chants, guys. Or tag me in the ones that you guys like so that I can see them. Because I wasn't like, I'm not familiar with this stuff. All right, we got Pumpa Villas here who says, we're smacked in this year. Way mala por la chucha. Oh, man. Thank you, Pumpa Villas. We got JM here who says, Liv being in the tournament and going to the finals is the dumbest thing ever. This confirms Io winning Queen of the Ring and will lose the rematch to Liv at SummerSlam. Which, to be honest, that's the best direction that they can go into at this point. Because anything else is just going to get too fuzzy, too confusing, and, you know, with everything going on with Rhea, there's too many question marks there. Thank you, JM. We got Josh Gilbert here who says Raquel beating Liv in the finals only for Liv to try and persuade her choice so that they could have another triple Batista style feud would have been a great SummerSlam story. Yeah, that's what we thought was going to happen, right? If right now Raquel was in the position of Io, I think it would have made a lot more sense.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Like, well, at least we'd have a narrative, something interesting, but like, now it's just a match that will end up likely just being rematched at SummerSlam.
We got the Juan G show here. It says, doing my ribs booking for not one, but both semis with 5-star BS. Plus, opening show with undisputed title match was a choice. FU bald fraud. Damn, Juan G show. Guns blazing. All right, we got Logan here. It says, so happy the women finally main evented again. This, by the way, Santi, was a really good week for women's wrestling. Primarily on the NXT side of things, loved what they did. Then AEW with Hazuki and Mercedes. I feel like they did some good stuff. Love seeing that Liv and Charlotte main evented. Don't love the way that the match was, unfortunately, the way that it went. Thank you, Logan. We got Chavero Armenta here. It says, hey, Denise and Santi, I agree the booking for Gunther and Liv has been very dumb. Makes Gunther look really bad. And the Liv match was really a lose-lose. But you know what? It's what we do. Hold on, Santi. Santi, I need you to look at this. Are you ready? Are you ready? You ready?
We want to do what we do, 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 what we do. That's what we do. What we do, what we do, what we do. It's what we do, what we do. It's why we do what we do. What we do, 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 and what we do, and what we do, 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 what we do. We do what we do and what we do, and what we do, what we do, what we do, and what we do, and what we do, and what we do, why we do what we do. That's why we do what we do.
I'm really trying to improve my flexibility this year, so I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with a few stretches I can do every day. They're super easy to incorporate before or after a workout or before bed, and it only takes me 10 minutes.
I love this video. That was 39 seconds. I didn't make this video. I found it on Twitter, but it's pretty funny.
Can you please DM me that? I want that.
I will. I'll send that to you. Yeah, I started using it today, and I was dying, because now anytime someone sends in, like, a funny super chat, like someone said, like, oh, I'm really busy this weekend, and I'm like, you know, it's really good to be booked and busy. It's what we do. Bam! Play the video. A whole lovely 39 seconds of this. Thank you so much, Tavera Armenta. We got Nothing Happens 96 here. It says, I'm happy Jay won. I think people got to accept WWE. See Jay as a main event single star. Not like it, but accepted. Why? IDK, but I will root for him. I like Jay Uso a lot, too. but I do get people's frustrations, and it goes back to 2 points. Santi, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the 2 points where WWE really took a chance with Jey Uso, it was kind of hard for the fans to buy. One was the Royal Rumble victory against John Cena, when a lot of people were expecting that to be John. 2, defeating Gunther, when a lot of people found it pretty hard to buy that Jey Uso would defeat Gunther in the manner that he did. I feel like those 2 moments kind of set people up for going like, I don't know how I feel about WWE, really going above and beyond like this for Jey Uso.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Like, I think my problem, and people think I'm like a massive Jey Uso hater. Like, I'm not. I certainly wasn't rooting for him here, and I do not want him to win the King of the Ring. Doesn't mean that I hate the guy at all whatsoever. I think my general problem when it comes to Jey Uso is just kind of like what you said there. It's the timing usually of like his big pushes. It's like a lot of us would rather see X, but you're going really hard on Jey Uso, and I think that this is also another great example of like an ill-timed push where people are ready to see new people at the top of the mountain. People want to see names that haven't had a chance at the main event scene yet, like Javon Evans, which is probably why so many people are peeved off, why so many people are going to be rooting for Obafemi. And also just the general execution of once he finally is at the top of the mountain, because his World Heavyweight Championship reign is entirely forgettable. It wasn't great. The execution of the championship reign, and once they put him there at the the head of the table or whatever it is that you want to use as a euphemism, the execution of it historically hasn't been great.
I think it was weird that they decided to really push Jay and then not put effort in his reign. I'm like, okay, if you guys really picked him, why didn't you put effort in it? Why did you only have him feud with Gunther? Like, why would you do him like that? I feel like maybe had they done something different, had they continued what they had started, then maybe people would have felt differently. I don't know. I wasn't surprised that Jay won today. I was expecting him to win primarily because, of course, of his association with Roman Reigns. But now we're in this world where, okay, we're going to end up with Obafemi versus Jey Uso. Like, this is happening. There are a couple of scenarios that could take place. One, we can have Obafemi just straightforward, kick his ass. Sorry, Jey Uso, you're gone. Wins the match, right? And it goes as most people expected. Or the Bloodline could get involved in this and help Jey Uso win and defeat Obafemi. Or we have a world where Brock Lesnar comes out and maybe costs this match for Obafemi. I don't know. Ideally, I would prefer Oba just wins this match straightforward. If he doesn't win, if anyone is going to interfere, it better be Brock, and it better not be the Bloodline. Because if it's the Bloodline, if it's Brock, we at least know we'll at least know what's next.
Yeah, I'm actually like I could see this straight up being a squash and Obo just winning in 3 minutes, because it could lead to Roman being upset, disappointed. Like, how could you represent the family like that in such a big stage in the King of the Ring final and lose in 5 minutes? How does that happen? That could create some tension between Roman, Jay, the Usos and Fatu, and I'm sure, I don't know if you've noticed, they've given us 6 matches on this PLE. I'm not buying that we're getting all of them being long. I think one of them is going to be a squash, and it could be this one, and that's the reason why they're able to fit, one extra match more than they typically do.
That is true. I mean, unless they're going to actually take away some of the advertisements, because mind you, they're still going to do the first hour of the whole, the first hour on ESPN, which was what, 2 matches? I forget which ones they said are to be on there.
Yeah, historically there are less ads on Saudi shows. Like, there is less ads on the ring mat. They don't have the prime hydration station because, well, Saudi doesn't want all of that, because they're paying top dollar for them to be the major representation, Riyadh seasons. So that actually has always been this major upside to the Saudi shows, believe it or not. It's just a lack of advertising.
I love how both of us were like, yeah, Riyadh season, like that's the major promotion. We all know know. We all know. Steven Marchuli here who says, I think Cody wins three ways, by setting up a showdown versus Punk at SummerSlam. Charlotte versus Jade will be good. Hey, man, right now, I hate to say this, but CM Punk, right now, I'm waiting for him to be the savior of this title picture on SmackDown.
Yeah, that goes with what I was saying for Night of Champions. I don't care. Whoever wins versus Punk. Get us out of here. Get us out of here.
It's gotta be Cody, man. Fuck it. Do Cody versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. Fuck it. Let's go. You guys gotta sell 2 nights, man. Let's do it, We got Logan here who says, Santi, we were talking about who our favorite commentators were early in the stream. Who are your favorites as of now and back then? Yeah, I had memes for current right now, some of my favorites. I actually shouted out some people that I feel don't get that much love. Big Joseph on NXT, Tom Hannafan on TNA, I think do really, really well. Those are kind of low-key, some of my faves currently.
Yeah, I think currently Vic Joseph is probably my favorite commentator. I really also like Corey Graves. I think Corey Graves is such an unsung hero for WWE. His work in AAA is legitimately just top-notch stuff as well. And he's working alongside Rey Mysterio, one of the worst commentators I've ever heard. So that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. All time, I always love the duo of JR and the King. I like their SmackDown counterparts at the same time as well. I think that Taz and Michael Cole were a really great duo too, back in the 2000 SmackDown days.
Thank you, Logan. All right, we got Nothing Happens 96 here. It says Liv career is being hurt by the championship booking wise. I don't think her career is being hurt, but it's definitely not doing it any favors. And I hate that they've been doing this for the women's champions. I do not like that. I want them to do more. And remember when we thought that Stephanie's booking of her championship reign was bad? Now when you think about Stephanie and Liv's reign, Stephanie's reign was far better at this point than it was with Liv. But I also do think, again, that Stephanie being out really did hurt what they were doing with Liv. And also, I'm wondering when Stephanie is coming back. I had originally seen reports were saying that she was going to be back before Clash in Italy. Well, it's weeks now past Clash in Italy, and she's still not back. So I'm starting to get a little bit, worried.
Yeah, I was actually thinking she might be the, equalizer and help Charlotte and attack Liv Morgan here.
Ooh, I would like that. Thank you, Nothing Happens. We got B True 2310. What up, B True? Says this episode of SmackDown confirmed to me that it's no need to have Rhea relinquish the title. It's not like it'll be anything to look forward to anyway. Get healthy and hope she'll be ready at SummerSlam. Hopefully, I don't want her to relinquish the title. I hate that, man. It sucks every time, but I guess it all depends on how long she would have to be away for. That's the part that we don't know. Thank you, Be True. We got Uncle Donk here who says there's no way Charlotte would agree to lose clean, thus the injury. But we don't know that for sure, man. We don't know that for sure. We got Kevin H here who says, I think they have been building towards Charlotte versus Jade for weeks now. It's probably going to be a heated non-title feud for SummerSlam. At this point, it feels like this has been building since the moment Jade stepped into WWE. Santi, remember the first time they confronted? We were like, we can't believe it. And then they did it again. And every time they did it, it was like, oh yeah, we've seen this. Oh yeah, they've done this. Oh yeah, they've been teasing this. Oh yeah. So this has been going for a while.
Yeah, I think it was Jade's first night. I think it was Jade's first night that they had their first stare down.
I lost track already because she went on every show and she kind of had to stare down with everyone. I don't remember the order of it anymore. Thank you, Kevin. We got Kaden Crawford here. It says, respectively, both winners suck. I'm sorry. Thank you, Kaden. We got Adam for Christ here. It says, yay for another Danhausen appearance. You know what? I did laugh today. Finally, the Garzas probably had their best WWE moment ever when they didn't let Danhausen finish his You Are Cursed. They were smarter than that. They started telling him off. They were choking him. And I thought, you know what? At this point, yeah, that's what you got to do. BTW, why wasn't Danhausen at the Knicks parade? Have they said why he wasn't there?
No, I haven't seen it. I think he should have been front and center right beside Mandani.
Yeah,
in my
seriously.
opinion.
Seriously. Thank you, Adam. We got Steven here who says, does Stephanie cost Liv? Ooh.
I'd rather not. Like the last few, the Queen of the Ring matches and King of the Ring matches haven't had outside interference, like the final. If you win that, you should be because you were the best. I don't want any interference. I don't want Brock interfering. I don't want Stephanie. I don't want any interference.
Sometimes life can be a little messy. But with next-gen Nuvella Performance Fabric at Ashley, we've got your whole home covered. So you can get back to what you love, messes and all.
It takes time, dedication, and the right support to achieve your best self. The Vitamin Shoppe health enthusiasts are here to make sure you're not wasting a single moment on the wrong supplements. You'll find a huge variety of science-backed solutions for every goal, and the people that help guide you along the path to greatness.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's what I would prefer to. I always say that for every single match. I don't want any interferences ever, but no matter what, we gotta get them. I hate it.
It's what they do.
It's what we do. Thank you, Steven. We got Mr. CJ Lilly here who says, can we have both women's championships on Raw regardless who wins? So Alexa Bliss is just Charlotte's manager now. Great God, send her to Raw. Yeah, I feel bad for Alexa Bliss and all her fans because I think it's starting to get very clear right now that nothing much is really moving on that end. Right now, she really is not a manager, but she's kind of just a sidekick, which is not what you want her to be, but that's where we're at. Thank you, Mr. CJ Lilly. We also got Uncle Don here who said, Santi, are you a Leafs fan? What do you think of the trade of Rod Dish? 8.5 ABV is a bit too high, but the team needs him.
I'm not the biggest Leafs fan. So, I mean, my commentary on this won't be particularly that interesting. I'm more of a Devils fan. I'm sorry.
Wait, you're a Devils fan?
I like the Leafs because I'm from the Toronto area, but when I got into hockey, I was actually living in Newark, New Jersey when I was a kid. So that was kind of like my first introduction to ice hockey because I was still like fresh off the boat from Colombia, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? It's soccer and these guys are sliding on ice. What the fuck? This is magic. So I immediately started rooting just for the local team, which was the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, that's my husband's team. So I know more than I care to say about the New Jersey Devils, okay? And too much. Santi, I admitted to you something that I know that Canadians will crucify me for, but I'm not a hockey fan. And my husband's been trying to make me a hockey fan, and bless his heart, it hasn't happened yet.
It's understandable. You're from the South. Like, it's a sport from the North.
I'm done with you. You know what, Santi? That's it. The show is over. Say your goodbyes. Call it a day. Alrighty, guys. Oh, hey, and Blake Monroe is still coming, by the way.
Yeah, called out Julia, which is definitely a choice.
She's calling out everyone at this point. But no, for real, that's it. That's all we got for Friday Night Smackdown, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Santi, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at any and all things Santi's app. Pick your platform of choice. I'm going to be there. Google Santi's app and have fun. I'm going to be there.
Alrighty, guys, that's for me at _Denise Salcedo everywhere and on YouTube. If you guys haven't checked me out yet, come check me out. We got Larice Johnson here who says Jade and Charlotte had their face-to-face in October of 2023. She made her debut in 2024. Okay, so it's kind of when she was teasing where she was going to sign and stuff like that. All right, I love that. Thank you so much, Larice Johnson. Alrighty, everyone, that's it for us here today. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Scammers demand payment with gift cards. Don't share codes or personal details.
Welcome to the Party Shop at Michael's. We're your one-stop for everything you need to celebrate. Find balloons, decor, tableware, and so much more, starting at 99 cents. Shop in-store or online today.
Reaching a ceasefire agreement just hours earlier, and it comes as conflicting reports are happening over the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. As we begin with a Fox News alert. President Trump visiting Camp David this weekend as his envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are in Switzerland right now for negotiations on a peace deal with Iran. And criticism is growing over that memorandum of understanding. President Trump reminding the world on Truth Social this morning that the Iranian military has been defeated, including its Navy and its Air Force. Our Bill Melugin is live from the White House for us with the latest developments. Hi, Bill.
Aisha, good afternoon to you. As you mentioned, we are getting some conflicting reports as to what exactly is going on in the Strait of Hormuz right now. The Iranian military announced just a short time ago that they have closed the strait over what they say are violations of the ceasefire. They're now warning ships don't go near that area, but CENTCOM is pushing back, saying that vessel traffic through the strait today so far has been flowing smoothly. In the meantime, as you mentioned, President Trump's envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, are both on the ground in Switzerland as I speak to you right now. Vice President J.D. Vance said on Fox and Friends earlier this morning he does plan to join them in the coming days, and that the memorandum of understanding is already having an impact.
As you guys know, one of the things the president has set us out to do as a high priority is to open the straits. That's now happened. We actually got 16 million barrels of oil out of the Straits of Hormuz yesterday. That is a record going back to even before the conflict started.
Now, President Trump is spending the weekend and Father's Day up at Camp David. That's where he's been active on Truth Social today, and he's also been defending against criticism of that MOU he signed with Iran, saying comparisons to the deal that the Obama administration signed with Iran are just flat out wrong.
He didn't damage their Navy or destroy their Air Force. I destroyed the Air Force. I destroyed their anti-aircraft weapons. That's why we were flying over there totally unimpeded. We turned off all the stealth. They couldn't do a damn thing. He didn't do any of that stuff. He didn't kill their leadership. I did, twice. 2.5 times to be exact. He didn't do anything to Soleimani. I killed Soleimani.
And Aisha, back to that claim from Iran that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. That is coming from the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and our colleague, Jennifer Griffin, getting some information from a senior U.S. defense official who's pushing back against that, saying Iran can't close the strait because they don't control it right now. The U.S. controls it. CENTCOM also announcing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my one is, like this. Well, yeah, I'm looking to end the video right here. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Okay.